Well, hi everyone. It is me, your favorite oracle. It's decided to come on. I'll go ahead and tape this. I have a couple things I want to get through. I have a remote viewing. First off, thank you everyone who's decided to tune in. I appreciate you tuning in. Before we get started, I have to say, but be sure and share, like, subscribe, and click the bell notification. I always forget to do that. Anyway. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Today we have a remote viewing where I went into the mind of the white supremacist. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the groups that attacked the Capitol and a little bit about what I'm picking up from that group. Now, it looks like these groups that attacked the Capitol, the white supremacists. The problem here is just how far these groups got. So when I went into the mind of some of the organizers, it looks like what they have is they have safe passage and safe harbor taken care of. So if you're somebody who's a white supremacist and you are hoarding food and you've got a bunker somewhere and you're good to go for the next 3 to 4 years on your compound, then you can hold up for the revolution for the next couple of years. And if somebody needs to, quote unquote, get to safe harbor, you would be able to take somebody that's wanted by the authorities. And so what could happen based on this energy is that the professional domestic terrorists from these pro-white extremist groups, it looks like they go aground. It looks like many of them go into like bunker hiding, and if people are looking for them, if authorities are looking for them, they can then attempt to go to safe passage to another compound in another location. So the problem is that many of them have decided to hide out, and they are feeling that they will hide out and then come back and attack, say in the spring or another time. The problem here is that they're telling me in this energy that they're mobile. So they can go, they can plan an attack, say in Michigan, they can go aground, they can go and seek harbor in a compound in Tennessee, attack in Tennessee, go aground. And this seems to be the problem we're having with these groups, is the fact that they are connected and organized with these bunkers, many of which are well prepared for war, and this ability to move through a network all over the country and possibly even outside the United States. So that is what we're dealing with. That's the level of organization that we're dealing with. And we're also talking about the coup that this was an actual real coup, in the sense that these groups that call themselves patriots, by the way, many of whom have extensive military training, are in the police, etc., are training other white supremacists to do this. And so we are going to be digging out these extremists for years to come, I'm sorry to say. But understanding the network and just how advanced the networks were, and how these militias and these groups were allowed to do what they did, that's unfortunately something that the Biden administration is going to have to be looking at extensively. So the first throw we're going to be doing is on the white supremacists and what they're planning. But I think that this may be one of the reasons why we saw America becoming unsteady in the next few weeks, and why we're concerned about people becoming excessively stressed out in the coming weeks, and why we just want to give people a heads up to prep themselves. We'll do a simple prayer. We're going to go in. We'll take a look at the situation. I'm taping this for the people who prefer the taping. All right, I'm going to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, for the planet, for the people we love, but also to help those we have strife with. And together we say, Amen. Let's go in and just check and see what they're up to. And I'm also going to see if they're planning anything for January 20th. I'm concerned about sharpshooters, people with advanced op training, potentially targeting and attempting to assassinate people, etc. Those are the things we're worried about, and I'm just going to check and see what's planned. Okay, where they're at right now, they're reassessing You can see the Three of Pentacles is the base of the matter. That's the contract. So these are people that were setting out to do something, and now they're reassessing. And you can see here the Mastery card, and that's got me concerned. Because to have the Karma card be mastery and perfecting their skills, we're talking here about domestic terrorism. So we have new beginnings, new contracts, or a new way of doing business, and the Master's coming forward. And that could indicate that we're going to have more problems. We can see the Fool card coming in right now and the Tower. So they took a hard hit with what happened on the 6th. Many people feel that they were lied to. Many people are beginning to question their loyalties to the president. You can see the inverted Fool card. They're feeling like a fool and everything is crashing in on them. So a large percentage of the followers actually are going through a period of questioning themselves and their loyalties to this president. You can see here in the 4th house, what is above is questioning whether or not the relationship is still viable. We can go in and take a look at the cards here. And you can see here the base card, Three of Pentacles, new beginnings, new contracts, blueprint, and then the Mastery is what they're working at. They're questioning their loyalties to the president. This movement could survive this president, maybe because they felt that the president didn't go far enough. Here's Biden. Concerns about Biden, concerns about the future administration, but the fact that they feel like a fool, the Tower coming in, the Karma is what they're coming out of, and then here's Lady Justice, the Queen of Swords, who is the courts. She carries the sword of justice coming in. Many people who were part of the movement are probably going to leave. In relationship to the attack, you can see DC is pretty upset. The other in relationship to the attack, many questioning whether or not they can leave the organization. They will be starved out. We can see here that Trump and his minions could be losing money or not able to continue to fund these types of projects. We can also see that they're being blocked here by an inverted Knight of Wands, which would indicate that travel is obstructed. The main ringleaders are going to be arrested because you can see the High Priestess moving in. The fact that Lady Justice is coming swiftly would indicate that many of them are going to be arrested, and it's going to be pretty disappointing to see that many of them were pretty high up in the military. It's about 3 or 4 people we're looking at with advanced military training, and I believe they'll probably be arrested relatively soon. Wow, so that's interesting. So what we're looking at basically is a large group of the people that were following Trump now question, that inverted Fool card, the fact that there's a Tower card. They really thought that they were going to be able to take the Capitol and do this. It was the grand delusion. It was like the folie à deux. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. I'm just going to check in now on Donald Trump. The last time I tried to access information on him, it was almost like he was under house arrest and he was not permitted to communicate with his people. However, when it first happened, when I sat in the shoes of Donald Trump, I felt like I was willing to do just about anything to get back on Twitter, and was even trying to use the Twitter accounts of people close to me and people who I worked with, trying to get messages out. So even that the authorities are aware of, and even that has become difficult for him. So we're going to go in and now take a look at Donald Trump. Regarding Donald Trump's mental state right now, temperamental, remember the Queen of Wands inverted is my way, temper tantrum, my way or the highway, an offer being given, a sacred contract. He's still in the temperamental, emotional mindset. He doesn't appear to have the mental capacity to understand the full consequences of what he's done. People have asked me and commented on the channel about free will. Didn't this individual have free will? No, this individual does not have free will. That's, I think, the conclusion that I made from just doing this experiment, in the sense that the facets of the people involved, people with personality disorders, they didn't change their choices. The reason why we were able to put ourselves in the shoes of these individuals and come up with a rough idea of the decisions that they would make is because they did not change, and because perhaps they do have a personality disorder. In such a situation, if a person is emotionally stunted to the extent that this person appears to be stunted, it's very unlikely that they don't have the free choice of someone who's mentally healthy. But the fact that his karma card is an inverted Queen of Wands, I would say this person is still upset and still doesn't understand the nature of what has happened. It's over again, and this is the Knight of Pentacles is a stopping card. It goes nowhere. Stop if it's inverted. I really feel like it's over. And also you can see Justice is right over it. So here's the thing. It feels to me like Nancy Pelosi has the support of the military and the feds, etc. And for all intents and purposes, she is the de facto president of the United States right now. And she's moving very quickly. And I think she has support from the military, from the police, etc., from the feds. This relationship with this president is over for all intents and purposes as of now. And he doesn't really have a choice. Whatever deal they can come up with, they really went too far. And what's scary is that Don Jr. and the people surrounding this president didn't realize how far they had taken things. I mean, Don Jr. thought that he was just making his dad happy and that this was going to be the launch of a great network TV show, etc. That's how out of touch with reality. This was supposed to be the launch of a movement and a channel and a TV show like Oprah's channel that was going to be huge and fantastic. And look, Dad, this is going to be a great launch. We're going to manipulate these people to give us money who are under some false ideas about you. That almost, I would say, that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like they fully understood the ramifications of what they were doing. Many of the followers of Donald Trump, if you look at his 8th house, it's over. He's lost a lot of support. You can see here also the 6 of Cups in the 6th house, old loves not returning, still stubborn. He's still in his delusions. You can see the base card, refusing to leave, my way or the highway. Again, sacred contracts, offers, refusing here in the 4th house. You can see, you take this back a little bit. Refusing to take an offer, no love lost here. He's lost some of his old relationships over complete confusion. This is really leading me to think that this individual is not mentally well. 7 of Cups being completely in the cloud. Again, this is not someone who I think totally is in touch with reality. It reminds me of the shooter in Nevada and the guy in Tennessee, in Nashville. These men of a certain age who begin to be delusional. Sometimes seniors get overly medicated. Sometimes we see mental decline. But there's almost like a dream aspect to these individuals, as if they're overly medicated by doctors. Maybe they're taking too much L-Dopa, if they've been diagnosed with Parkinson's. But whatever the cocktail they're being given, I really am starting to think that drug interactions in seniors with mental decline is part of what we're seeing here. They really are out of touch with reality, and that's scary. They're not totally cognizant that what they're doing is real. That Seven of Cups literally being in the clouds. The clarification for him, look at this, the other in relationship to him, it's over. His followers will continue to, some of his diehard followers are still not done yet. But this president is done. It's over. Lindsey Graham has had his conversation with him. So I think that what we're looking at now is we're looking at an agreement for him to leave. I don't know if he's going to get as many pardons as he had originally wanted. We'll see. I know that the Justice Department reported his attempts to pardon certain people. So I'm going to go ahead and just check now and on his kids and see if any of them received pardons or if Don Jr. and the others that were responsible for helping to coordinate this thing are going to jail. Let's take a look. Just looking at Don Jr. mostly here. That film footage was pretty damning of them waiting for the riots. I mean, observing, and they've been gagged as well. They've been advised. They could have, if they haven't had their Twitter account taken away, it's very likely it could. You can see the camera or microscope, the frugality card. This is retraction. They've been told to retract, but you can see here, they've put themselves in a very bad situation. And again, possibly losing Twitter accounts even. First house, it's over. Any career goals or goals for a future political career is pretty much over at this chance. You can see at this point, Knight of Pentacles crossing, smooth waters. You know, how they clean themselves up from this is anybody's guess. You can see their father or the emperor, which I often see as a father's card, or authority figure inverted, can be a malevolent or abusive person in leadership. So on some level, they may know that their father has some mental decline. The mastery card is inverted here. The victory card, rah, 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 also inverted. So there's some awareness here that their political future is probably not going anywhere. There is a magician in the first house, leading me to suspect that Don Jr. and the other kids are trying still to preserve and protect their family's legacy. However, unfortunately, where Don Jr. is at, his seventh house, his mental environment is psychopathy. His opposition, he's under investigation. You can see the Hermit in the 8th house. His hope and fears, a new beginning. They want to get past that, but it leads to 3 of Swords, which is heartbreak, inability to leave a situation. It's going to cost him financially, and you can see new leadership coming in. This is quite, there are a number of charges probably that are going to be put against Don Jr., and it has to do with the fact that he seems to have been somehow responsible for what happened here. I'm going to go ahead now and take a look at, I'm going to look at Ivanka next. Because the energy around her and her father's been feeling really strange, and I think it's possibly because of that deposition. This is a really tumultuous ending for a really crazy administration. She's leaving DC for sure. You can see the Chariot card moving in, and then the Two of Pentacles. She's trying to go somewhere where she can get away from this crazy. It's almost like looking like vacation energy, like they want to go on vacation to an island nation somewhere in the middle of nowhere. You can see the Chariot moving in. Situation is becoming more crazy with a juggling card, rocky waters ahead for her. You can take a look at the cards here. Not good. She's actually trying to... Remember how I said that her cards almost look like her and Jared are trying to distance themselves from this president? We don't know him. You can see in the 4th house, the Devil card. It's entering into the 6th house, near future, death. Rocky waters lay ahead. No new beginnings for her career, I don't think. See, she's presenting as the King of Wands, which is solid leadership. So on some level, she's in touch with reality. You know, the other thing that's kind of interesting about Ivanka's cards is that you get the impression when you look at them like she did it alone. Inverted Hermit card. On some level, she was trying to communicate with her father that Don Jr. or perhaps whoever was choreographing this stuff, that she had reservations. She went it alone and it resulted in death or a break in her relationship, a codependent relationship. She presents as the solid leader, but there will be no new beginnings. She enters into a time that is rocky. She's juggling a potentially rocky situation or rocky waters. She wants to get away from all of this and just, yeah. She wants to get out of DC and get away from all of this tension. Her opposition is celebrating. The hope and the fear, the King of Pentacles, and the final outcome. No new relationships, not reaching across the aisle. Some hidden king, she's coming out of a state of confusion. The opposition doesn't want to save her or help her in the slightest. The hope and fear, failure. The final outcome, victory within 6 months. She's probably going to work out some kind of a deal with the feds, but she's going to have to cut her relationship off with her father. And we could see her publicly breaking with her father in order to save her own skin. That appears to be the only resolution for her. We love our parents, even when they do bad things. So that has to be that's going to be her effort to clean herself out. She's going to attempt over the next 6 months to clean her own reputation. And I'm telling you, she's going to distance herself from her own father to save herself. All right. Well, there you have it. The awful of where we're most likely headed with this presidency. Because the cards for Trump are so terrible, I think his time has come to an end as the president. What his followers will do, I think that the feds are on it. It's going to be interesting to see the concerted efforts on the part of Ivanka Trump to clean up her reputation over the next 6 months. And basically she's probably going to talk about the declining mental health of her father. She will distance herself from this individual. All right. I want to thank everybody for watching this quick video. Be sure and share, like, subscribe. And if you're trying to get in for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.